What does the California gold rush have in common with Bitcoin? Well, the California gold rush from 1848 to 1855 was a gold rush that began on January 24th, 1848, when gold was found by James W. Marshall at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. And we probably all read about this during our history books. The news of this gold brought approximately 300,000 people to California from the rest of the United States and around the world. At the beginning of the gold rush, there was very little regulation. Prospectors retrieved gold from streams and surrounding areas regardless of who lived there. Similar to the emergence of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Do you remember the Mt. Gox hacking? If you don't, take a look at it. This set credibility in Bitcoin back years, back to the gold rush of the 1800s. When the gold was found, tons of opportunities were created. Opportunity for new methods of transportation. Steamships began operation and railroads were constructed and built from California to the eastern United States. Gold worth tens of billions of today's US dollars was recovered, which led to great wealth for a few early prospectors. But many who participated in the California gold rush earned little more than they had started with. And there are many parallels between the gold rush of the 1800s and the cryptocurrency rush that exists today. Stick around and I'll discuss what is the same, what is different, and another way to think about profiting from the emergence of cryptocurrency. Hey, it's Colin Exelby, and I own the virtual financial advisory practice, Celestial Wealth Management. We provide financial planning advice to business owners and their families that just makes sense. Let's talk about the emerging asset class that is cryptocurrency. But before we do, let's talk about subscribing to this channel. As Nike says, just do it. All right, back to this video. Well, first, we've got to start with a little disclosure. Cryptocurrencies are quickly emerging as their own asset class. They have extreme volatility, and investors can lose some or all of their investment quickly, and leverage can make it even worse. There's still much to learn, and as such, each person should do their own research and due diligence on whether cryptocurrencies are appropriate for their financial situation and risk tolerance. No portion of this video is investment advice. This is for educational purposes only. You should consult your financial or tax advisor before making any investment in cryptocurrencies. All right, now that the disclosure is out of the way, let's talk about crypto. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that was created in January 2009. It follows the ideas that were set out in a white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto. Originally, it was created as a way to transact with a digital imprint left behind without the backing of a government entity. Bitcoin began to be adopted in small corners of the world, and as word began to spread about its existence and the potential use, Bitcoin began to increase in price, and it hit CNBC on the television in 2013. This video clip is of an interview given on CNBC when Bitcoin was $100. Today, Bitcoin is worth roughly $60,000 at today's prices. It's always interesting to go back in time and listen to debates. I'll provide a link to that video in the notes down below in case you want to watch the whole thing. Though by now, unless you're hiding under a rock, most people have heard of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But many are still trying to understand what it is and what value it provides. Is it just something to gambling on, or is there something more? Well, the more you read about it, the more you learn. And interestingly, this is very similar to the gold rush of the 1800s. When word of the gold rush spread, it was slow at first, as many people didn't understand what was happening. The earliest gold seekers were people who lived near California or people who heard the news from ships on the fastest sailing routes from California. The first large group of Americans to arrive were several thousand Oregonians. Next came people from the Sandwich Islands and several thousand Latin Americans, including people from Mexico, from Peru, and from as far away as Chile. Only a small number, of which is guessed to be around 500 people, traveled from the United States that year to California for the gold rush. But some of these 48ers, as the earliest gold seekers were sometimes called, were able to collect large amounts of easily accessible gold, in some cases thousands of dollars worth each day. Even ordinary prospectors averaged daily gold finds worth 10 to 15 times the daily wage on a laborer on the East Coast. A person could work for 6 months in the gold fields and find the equivalent of 6 years of wages back home. As word spread, more people came to California. They hoped to get rich quick and return home. This seems very similar to early adopters of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. There are a number of stories of people around the world with the foresight or the luck to invest a few $1,000s back when Bitcoin was below $1, and the millions they now have. Additional wealth obtained by speculating in other newer cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu has fueled more speculation in these digital currencies, and more people jump in as the fear of missing out, or FOMO as it's called, becomes even stronger. So who actually became wealthy in the gold rush of the 1800s? While early prospectors were able to secure large amounts of California gold, many did not. On average, according to reports, roughly half the gold seekers made a modest profit after taking all their expenses into account, but most late arrivals made little or wound up losing money. Business owners made far more money than the miners during the gold rush. The wealthiest man in California during the early years of the rush was a fellow by the name of Samuel Brannan. He was a local shopkeeper and a newspaper publisher. Now, Brannan opened the first supply stores in Sacramento, Coloma, and other spots in the gold fields. Just as the rush began, he purchased all the prospecting supplies, like picks and axes and shovels, and he resold them at a substantial profit to all the people coming to California. A local businessman who went on to great success was Levi Strauss. You know Levi. He first began selling denim overalls to prospectors in 1853. During the gold rush, outside of a few people who were the first to arrive, the businesses that supported the gold-seeking industry ended up making the majority of the wealth. Could this be happening again? There are a number of businesses that support the cryptocurrency industry, and I believe whether you think crypto is the future of currency or not, the companies that support this industry are poised to do well whether the coins are successful or not. One of the most important is the mining industry. No, not that mining industry. Bitcoin mining. It involves the use of powerful computers to verify transactions. These rigs, as they are called, verify transactions by completing blocks of code. Component makers of these mining machines are necessary for every new prospector that's getting into the industry and expanding their operation. The chips, the wiring, the metals, and the manufacturers are benefiting. The miners using the rigs verify the code and receive cryptocurrency as a reward for completing blocks of transactions. But they compete with each other to complete the blocks, with the fastest rig winning. These rigs use tremendous amounts of energy from the power grids and often need sophisticated cooling systems and storage facilities. According to an article on Business Insider, Bitcoin mining currently consumes around 91 terawatt hours of electricity annually. Now, I'm not really sure exactly how much that is. It sounds like a lot, but that's more annual electricity use than all of Finland, which is a country of 5.5 million people. Providing and securing energy in a cheap and sustainable way is imperative for continued crypto mining. I have to wonder what role the new version of nuclear power will play in this. Now, Bill Gates jumped into the nuclear space with his company TerraPower, building next-generation microreactors. There's a great article on CNBC earlier this year that details his venture. I'll put a link to it in the notes below. I continue to believe that nuclear power will play a vital role in the shift from fossil fuels to green energy and is poised to benefit from everything that is going on in crypto mining. Another way to potentially profit from cryptocurrencies without actually owning the currencies is to invest in companies that provide the digital storage for crypto coins and allow for the exchange of those coins. This network will, in my opinion, become more and more important as we move forward. According to Statista, as of October 2021, there are now over 70 million crypto wallets that hold various cryptocurrencies. Maybe you're one of them. Whether you want to store cryptocurrency for the future, trade cryptocurrency, or transact in cryptocurrencies, the platforms that allow for that to happen could do very well no matter how the underlying currencies do. Of course, all of these investment opportunities come with risk. There's a potential to lose some or even all of your investment, but in my opinion, they offer an interesting opportunity as a derivative play to actually owning crypto. Now, if you'd like to learn more about potential opportunities, feel free to reach out to me at celestialwm.com. Do you currently own crypto? What do you think about nuclear power? What about the mining rig component makers or the exchanges? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do my best to respond to each one and love having discussions with you. If you like this video, make sure you hit that little like button and of course, smash that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you're notified whenever I release a new financial planning and investment video.